It's the moment you didn't know you're waiting for.
He is Carter.
He's Chad.
And this is the Irish 365 podcast.
Chad, this is Lou Holtz. That's head coach of Notre Dame for 11 years. Greatest experience of my life. They're starting a Notre Dame podcast this summer. I have a podcast as well, but it's not about Notre Dame football, although I wish there were. But congratulations on your success. And it would be nice if I could be on your podcast, but my schedule is so hectic. But anything has to do with Notre Dame, I'm all for it. God bless you. Go Irish.
All right, welcome into Irish 365, episode 11, Miami of Ohio week.
That's right. This train keeps rolling.
Yep, Miami of Ohio.
And hard to believe we're 1/4 of the way through the season, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Miami of Ohio. What do you know about Miami of Ohio?
Miami of Ohio is an 0-2 football team is what I know about Miami of Ohio.
They have fallen short of being number one in the MAC. That is for sure.
Yeah, definitely coming into the season, we definitely had Miami of Ohio ranked as probably a better team than NIU.
Yes.
And we had that flipped, it seems like. 2 games in the season for both teams, obviously, but seems like we had that messed up.
And they lost to Northwestern and they lost to Cincinnati.
Yep.
They didn't lose to bad programs.
Nope, lost 27-16 to Cincinnati, but that game was at home for Miami, Ohio, which was so that was disappointing for them. And then lost last week. What was the score of that one? I think 13-6, if I remember correctly, at Northwestern in that soccer high school, really scenic
stadium.
Really scenic
Yeah,
stadium.
I'd like to go see a game there. I just don't know if I'd want to pay money to see that game.
I don't have to pay much, I don't think.
Yeah,
Northwestern football.
Yeah.
No, I think Northwestern will have to go check out their new stadium when that's done. I did some projects in school about that, and it looks pretty sweet. Very ADA accessible. They've got a ton of funding too. It's really cool, interesting stadium. So that'd be an interesting one to go see. But yeah, Miami, Ohio, 0-2 football team.
Yeah, which is not what I expected them to be.
Yeah.
I thought maybe 1-1.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I mean, we were talking about this preseason. Like, this could be a team that came in undefeated. This is a team with a lot of experience. 50-year starting quarterback, hasn't transferred.
Yeah.
All 5 years at Miami, Ohio.
Yeah, no, he's had some injury, but still. And when you look at the scouting, you pay attention to Miami of Ohio. I mean, their passing game is their strength, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's what. It's really interesting when you start breaking down. I guess we can break down Miami, Ohio a little bit here.
Yeah, let's get into it.
But yeah, their strength is their passing game. Their weakness is their run game. Defensively, pass defense is their strength. Run defense is their weakness, which I find interesting. I think that's going to be interesting how it sets up for the Irish as we come into this game. And I don't think we know who we are yet. I think we know what we're good at.
Yeah,
I think we know we're good at pass defense.
Yeah.
We are mediocre in the run stopping, but we stepped up. The front seven was a different front seven. They played like the front seven I expected.
Yeah, they played angry last week.
Yeah, and if we can keep that rolling, I want to see more of them playing angry. We can be pretty stout in the run as well.
Yeah.
And but I think we talked about this a little bit in the Purdue review. There were some passes that Card threw that just were dropped.
Yeah.
I mean, he found some nothing big. He didn't have any huge.
Yeah.
They were 6-7 yard passes, but he found some opportunities to be successful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was good. Offensively, we know we can run the ball, and we can run the ball well.
Yeah.
And again, we should be able to continue that success, I would think. Now the question is, can we pass the ball?
Yeah, I think that's obviously the huge question. But yeah, for a game like this, it's a situation where their strength is throwing the ball downfield. Like you said, not a great running team. They seem to be, I mean, I think we have a better front seven than Northwestern and Cincinnati, especially after they played last week. So I think that's going to play into our strength defensively. They're going to want to throw the ball. I think we'll be comfortable letting them throw the ball. I mean, I hope they don't get a big play, but I mean, they haven't put up a whole lot of points. So they've been passing the ball, but it's not been for scores here.
Yeah, no, I don't think. I think I saw the yardage they put up passing, or like 170, 180 yards in the game.
So it's not like they are a better passing team than rushing team, but it's not like they're
not all world.
Yeah, they're not next level.
Which is interesting because they defensively, now that granted they play in the MAC, but maybe Ohio last year, like they were very similar stat-wise to Notre Dame in defense categories. And their offense was a little more prolific. Now, they haven't gotten to their MAC season yet, but I don't know enough about Miami of Ohio to know what's happened, but they should have had enough returning starters. They should have enough playmakers coming back. They should have been dangerous.
Yeah.
Now, we do know their coach. He's been there 11 years. His last stop
Before becoming head coach.
before he was the head coach at Miami of Ohio was offensive coordinator at Notre Dame.
Yep.
2 years as offensive coordinator, so the 2012-2013 season. Prior to that, he was on the defensive side of the ball. I don't remember if he was assistant or co-defensive coordinator or if he was like just a backs coach. I think he was like defensive backs coach or linebacker. Like he started in as just like a backs coach or linebackers coach or something. And then I remember him moving over to the offensive side of the ball. Now, 2012 obviously was our national championship run year. The defense carried us, not the offense. The offense did enough.
Yeah.
So I think he's a defensive-minded guy, not an offensive-minded guy, but he was doing all right.
Yeah.
2013 season was a little bit of a letdown compared to 2012. The
Expectations were definitely high.
The defense wasn't as good. The offense was still a little bit of a struggle. So I'm not surprised. He's got a veteran quarterback coming in. They're proficient in the passing. They've got a really strong defensive secondary, it sounds like, which would fit Coach Martin's MO with his time at Notre Dame. He's built it. That program was in shambles when he went there, and he's really built up to a decent program.
Yeah. Anytime you can stay in a head coaching position for that long, it's just impressive, even if it is a small school like that.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing something right, and he's found the home. And, kudos to the University of Miami of Ohio, because it's a really nice campus. It really is a pretty campus for a small MAC school and, just north of Cincinnati and nowhere, Ohio. It's a really nice campus.
Yeah.
So I can see he's found a fit there, and it seems to be working for him, and he's had some success. But will he have success this week?
Yeah, I mean, he had a lot of high praise talking about him now. A lot of high praise about Notre Dame, obviously calling it the most beautiful college stadium he's ever been in, the best college atmosphere in the nation. And you don't usually hear that. I mean, you hear compliments about Notre Dame from opposing coaches and stuff, but usually not that high praise. This is the best stadium usually.
Yep.
It's usually a bigger team and bigger. They're obviously always saying their team's the best stadium, but. So, yeah, a lot of high praise. So that was interesting coming into the week. He obviously thinks very highly of the university. Just interested this week, though. I mean, the run defense, like you said, doesn't look great. So, and that seems to be what we can do. So it'll be interesting to see how much Riley Leonard's got designed runs this week, how much Jeremiah Love's getting the ball, how much Ford's getting the ball.
Yeah, I mean, we should be deep.
Yeah, I meant Price, but.
Yeah, Price. We should be deep in the running back rotation.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would. Yeah. So I guess let's break it down a little bit. If you're coming into this game and you're Coach Martin from Miami, what are you going to do? Like, what's the game plan to?
Man, it's a tough one. I mean, I guess what I'm thinking though is I still think Notre Dame, you got to beat by the run. They haven't ran the ball well. But they're going to assume that we're trying to cover for the pass this week against a team that has theoretically done better passing.
Yeah,
I think if you're Miami of Ohio, you still have to try to run the ball. I think that's still the way to beat us. I know Purdue didn't do it well last week. We looked absolutely phenomenal. I just don't think Miami of Ohio is going to be able to throw the ball on us too much until they get into that play-action pass game.
Yeah, and we weren't. Yeah, exactly. We weren't stellar against the run at A&M. We definitely weren't stellar against the run at Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
We were much better against the run at Purdue. So now, is that who we are? Is that our identity?
Yeah.
Or is that just a blip?
Yep.
It was just Purdue inept or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you got to test the water. You got to try and run. If nothing else, you got to run the ball just to keep us focused on the run, so you can open up those passes. And again, Cart had some opportunities for small passes.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely what we've seen in their defense. Though we'll give up the 3, 4, 5 yard pass, and maybe you get open on it, right? Maybe you hit a guy that's got some speed and he breaks a tackle or something. Because that's definitely something we've had trouble with is tackling. It did seem to get better last week, but definitely still saw some guys. Unless we put Kenny Urlacher in there, he's going to just come in and crush everything.
Yeah, Kenny Urlacher, no problem tackling.
Yeah,
no problem finding the ball or tackling.
Yeah.
So I think you got to look at that side of it. And if I'm Miami of Ohio, I'm like, you know what? My goal is just to keep it third and manageable.
Yep.
That's it. So whether it's a 5 yard pass, 4 yard pass, or a 3 yard run, if I can get those things accomplished on first and second down, I just do not want to get in third and long.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that's where Purdue struggled last week.
And I think I'm gonna like Purdue didn't do a whole lot in the trickeration, which surprised me.
Yeah, I know.
I would have I would have probably tried to do a little bit more unconventional opportunity plays.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Purdue didn't try that. Like, okay, we're going to misdirection more. We're going to, stack.
I mean, they only had 2
something.
weeks to plan.
Yeah, I mean, so if I'm Miami of Ohio, that's going to be part of my offensive game plan. You just take 3-4 yards anytime I can get it. Keep myself in third and shorts. The Miami of Ohio special teams has been really strong. Now, I think last year they were really good. I think they've fallen off because Coach Martin, again, I think he was on a hot take earlier this year in one of the preseason press conference. I don't know if you heard this, but he was talking about their kicker left and went to Alabama, and he said Alabama definitely bought their kicker. So, they had a very good field goal kicker. Oh, you didn't see that?
That's
so, yeah, he was just like throwing shade at Alabama for stealing the kick away from him through the transfer portal. So, I think their special teams, and I think they lost their special teams coordinator as well. So, I think their special teams had been good last year, and I think maybe it's fallen off this year with those 2 changes. But I'm gonna try and keep it close, to short, third and shorts. I'm going to try and just, again, I'm going to run that play clock to the last second. I'm not going to run hurry up. I'm going to limit the number of opportunities I give Notre Dame offensively.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So let's kind of get into it. We talked about special teams just a little bit. You want to get in Notre Dame special teams here?
Let's come around to it. Let's finish up defensively.
Okay,
let's finish up defensively for Miami of Ohio.
Okay, sounds good. So defensive I guess from the Notre Dame perspective, what is Miami of Ohio trying to do? Got to pack the box. We joked about it last week, 10, 11 guys in the box.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to make, especially when Riley Leonard's, if we put Stephen Jelly in the game, then it's a different ball game. But I think if Riley Leonard's in the game.
Well, I'm running the cover 3.
Yeah.
I'm running no one deep.
Yeah.
And I'm putting 90% of my guys on the left side of the defense, which would be the right side of the offense.
I mean, give them the open throw deep at this point.
Yeah.
If you're Miami. I mean, I know you're not going to do that as a coach. Like, we're just being over dramatic. But, like, oh my goodness, make this dude throw deep. Like, we've seen him just miss wide open guys deep. So
and he doesn't look left.
No,
he doesn't want to run left. He doesn't want to throw left. I would literally I'd let you run past me at 20 yards. I don't care. He's not getting the ball over our head and throwing it.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna
until he does 2 or 3 times.
I'm gonna defense. I'm gonna shoot gaps to the left. I'm gonna take away runs to the right, basically for the offense.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna and I'm gonna take that middle safety in my cover 3 and say, you're spying the quarterback. Where he goes, you go.
Yeah.
He runs right, you run right. He runs left, you run left. I think that's kind of it. I'm going to try and stop the run. Now, I'm not feeling good about it because as good a runner as Riley Leonard is, he will make you pay. And and Love and Price have shown that you do not want the ball in their hands if you're the opposing team's defense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you're not safe anywhere on the field, like defensively, with those two having the ball in their hands. That's been shown the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Love went for the 47?
Yeah.
And Price went for the 70-yard run. I mean, both those guys can take it to the house any given play if you give them space.
I think I saw Price was basically like, I plan on scoring every time I touch the football.
Yeah.
It's like what his quote was after this week. Like, every time I touch the ball, I think I'm going to score.
And I love that mentality.
I mean, you might as well, right? Like, there's no point in like, I'm going to get 5 yards this kid. No, I'm going to score.
Did you see the line rank him with Jeremiah Love?
Oh, yeah, I did see that. That was very funny. Big Drick, number 1, right off the bat.
They gave him Big Drick, and he went number 1. It's like, oh, dude, there's
recency bias, maybe a little bit, right?
Recently, definitely. But then they give him the Jerome Bettis. He's like, ooh.
Yeah, I forget who they gave him third.
Ricky Waters.
Okay, and then they went Kyron, and he put Ricky Waters 4th, and then put Kyron 3rd.
Yeah. And so that was good because he was like, oh no, there's some good back.
I feel like they should have gave him Drick as last because then he would have been mad if he would have put 1 in because he seemed pretty. Yeah.
As much as I love Audric,
I know, but it's his teammate.
I would, just you can't look at how much Notre Dame history does Love know? I don't know, but I would not, if they come out first, I would not put him 1. I mean, he's in my top 5, but I wouldn't put him 1.
Yeah.
That was kind of fun. So I think Love and Price, though, get those guys the ball, give those guys the opportunities, let them make magic happen, and they will. Yeah. They will make magic happen. We know that.
The one thing I'm surprised about, we haven't seen too much 2-back option, or both backs in at the same time yet this year. I don't feel like too much. We saw a little bit with Love out in the slot, I think, but I just would like to see us put both of them out there. Just, I mean, we've been hating on Riley Leonard. Like, don't get me wrong. But, like, imagine if we have both of them, Riley in between them.
Run the triple option.
Yeah. It would be scary.
I mean, you put Price in that fullback type role where he dives between the guard and tackle.
Yeah.
and let Leonard fake the hand to him or give it to him, and then you have Love and Leonard go around the right side. Yeah,
It'd be an interesting package, I think. I'd be like, okay, let's see what we got here.
but I think if you're Notre Dame, you're not planning that until Louisville at the earliest.
Yeah.
You
fine.
probably had that in your thought process, and you're probably thinking that like maybe something
Yeah.
would break out versus, Florida State.
Yeah.
Like early in the season, that's kind of where I'm thinking I might break something like that out. But at this point, Florida State's not looking as formidable as they were. So you might break something like that out against Louisville.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to have that on tape so that now USC has to prepare for that, as they start breaking down film, like, oh, there's a wrinkle here we got to be prepared for.
Yeah.
We've got to prepare for the triple option. For us, preparing for the triple option is not a big deal. We do it every year.
Yeah.
We know how to, but not something they do every year. So
Yeah.
I think from the Notre Dame perspective, as you look at it, I think it's going to be tough sledding for Miami of Ohio. Their strength, again, being the passing game, plays into our strength of pass defense. Their weakness being the running game plays into our weakness of the run defense.
Yeah.
But again, if that Purdue run defense shows up, it's going to be a long day for the Miami of Ohio offense.
So here's my kind of thoughts. I feel like Benjamin Morrison, it's played good, not great here recently, this season. I'm expecting him, I don't know if it's going to be this week or next week, but one of these 2 weeks, he's going to have one of his big games.
But he hasn't been challenged.
I know he hasn't been, but I'm just saying, there's been a couple passes where I'm like, ooh, he got a ball caught in his area.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In that NIU game, I think was the first touchdown, he went for the pick.
Yes.
And then he got burnt, obviously. So I don't know. I have all faith in BMO. Like, that's not like that. And I don't, but I think he's gonna have a big game here soon.
I haven't seen a play chart, but I think the
the number of passes towards his area low
is way down.
Oh yeah, no, that's not about.
Yeah,
it.
you're going to go after Christian Gray because Xavier Watts has been quiet from the pass defense standpoint, because I think those two guys are just people that were forcing the ball to go other places. But that's why Gray, that's why some of these other guys have played so good. Because I think they've just Mickey has played good because they've wanted to stay away from BMO and Watts. So I think that's all right. I'm okay with that. And NFL scouts can see hey, teams respect you. They don't want to throw through you. So I mean, BMO and Watts are going to the NFL next year. And there's going to be a time and place where we're going to have a quarterback try and test them, and I think they'll be ready.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about that. So I think if I'm Miami of Ohio, I'm not feeling good about what their strengths and weaknesses are going in against Notre Dame's strengths and weaknesses. Just not naturally good. So now if I'm Notre Dame, defensive game plan, we talked about this. I'm gonna commit to the same way I did to Purdue, not letting you run.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let my secondary do it. I mean, I'm gonna play the same defense I played against Purdue.
Yeah, I think that's the best bet for us. Make them throw the ball. I mean, let them have those dinks, and they're going to drop passes probably too similar to Purdue, I'd imagine. I mean, they're not going to be perfect. Quarterback, it's nice to see a quarterback stats coming in. He hasn't missed 2 passes all year, something just ridiculous. He's actually I think it was 18 for 35 or something. He's got decent numbers, but not compared to what we've seen the last 2 weeks. Where it's this dude's 18 for 20 or 22 for 23 or whatever card was. It's just okay. He's not played the best defenses, and he's been okay.
Yeah, he's not been over.
I'm not okay. His numbers aren't lying on this one too, and I don't feel like so.
So yeah, I think defensively, I feel really good about following the same game plan we did, against Purdue. I think that's lock that in, and please, please, please play with that same aggression, that same chip on your shoulder, that same anger, that same. You're not gonna score. I really think we went into the mindset we're not going to let Purdue score. Yeah. And hopefully we bring that same mindset against Miami of Ohio.
So Miami of Ohio averages 11 points per game this season. Our defense has let up 12 points per game this season.
Yeah.
Just saying. I don't feel like Miami of Ohio is going to have a high scoring affair this weekend.
No.
I don't think that's going to change this weekend for them.
No, I don't see that at all. Now, offensively, and you want to go special teams? Let's go special teams.
We'll go special teams.
Notre Dame special teams.
This is a unit we were kind of high on coming into the year. Just what a disappointment. Obviously, field goals blocked.
Yes.
2 field goals we've had blocked on us. And then punting, I think, averaging 38.5 yards a punt.
Yeah, it's not
39 yards a punt.
Yeah, it's not much. It's less than 40.
Yeah, so definitely a unit we've been just disappointed with. I don't know if he's that bad of a punter, or if he was hyped up so much over the offseason, it's been a disappointment. You know what I mean? And then I've also seen just some interesting stuff coming out from the coaching staff that they're asking him to do too much in the punting. Like they're trying to get him to do the Aussie punt. They're trying to it's like,
yeah.
Okay, didn't we realize like after one game, like, okay, he's not punting as good as he is in practice. Let's just have him kick the ball. Like, he's got the hang time, allegedly. He's got the distance. All I know is, as a special teams coordinator, you don't have to ask a punter to do too much if he can truthfully kick a 50-plus yard punt with 4.5, 5-second hang time, besides get down the field.
But how many times do you need a 60-yard punt?
Oh, I'm not saying every single time down the field, but I'm just saying, like...
Yeah, I know, but I'm just like...
We haven't seen any of that, though. I mean, there's been opportunities.
It's like you go golfing with a guy that's really good with the driver off the tee.
Yeah.
And he has no mid-range game with his irons.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I don't care you hit the ball 350 yards because that next shot you have to hit 150 with your iron, you can't hit. So is it just he's got a big leg and they're trying to get him to do all these other kicks?
Yeah.
Which, what he's good at's the big leg, let it go.
Yeah.
So,
but they haven't let him do that yet. It's the same thing we're talking about with the quarterback. You got to get him in rhythm, right? You let him just go hammer a couple, and then he's feeling good. He's feeling confident.
I'm hoping he doesn't get but 2 kicks this week.
Oh, I know.
And if I'm the coach and we're in a situation where we're not punting till the second half and we're up big, I'm going to just tell him to let one fly. Like literally, I don't care if we don't pin him inside the 20.
Yeah.
Let one fly. Just in a game, let one loose. I think that's what he needs.
Yeah.
I think he's, again, he's in his head. He's trying to do too much is what it sounds like from the hot takes and the press conferences. But yeah, I would just, dude, go kick one. Kick it into the stands. I mean, we're in the 50-yard line, and you can put it in the back of the stands. Kick it in the stands.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's been interesting. But yeah, definitely field goals getting blocked, and then we've been close on a few punt blocks, which has me happy. I mean, I think hopefully we're going to get one this week. It's kind of my feel. My gut feels we're going to get one this weekend. We've been close last week.
Yep.
So I remember NIU, and I feel like we were close to one of them, but I can't remember which game.
I think it was close to one on the NIU
game, yeah. So definitely looking from that side of special teams. Kicking game can't get 2 kicks blocked in a game. You can't have 2 kicks blocked in the season.
And that's not on your kicker unless he's just taking a long time in the operation. And I don't think it was that. I just think the left side of the line just missed protection and didn't. And it still counts against your kicking game.
Yeah.
That's a whole operation.
Yep.
The kicking game is more than just the kicker kicking the ball.
Yeah.
It's a snap, it's a hold, it's a line block. It's a team effort in order to be successful on a field goal.
Yeah.
No one's ever made a field goal with a bad hold.
No.
Very few guys have made a field goal with a bad snap.
Yeah.
If the holder's really good, they can make up for a bad snap.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a timing thing. You can't have that hesitation. You can't give that extra time, and the line's got to give you enough time to make it happen. So, So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it on our kicker as much as I'd put it on the whole special teams operation and field goal.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I still not sure about the whole 60-yard attempt, but it is what it is.
Yep.
So maybe there's something there, but I think we just heard so much hype coming out of this summer about all the games that if we thought our kicker was going to hit 65-yarders, we'd have probably heard about it.
Yeah.
We'd have heard about it. So I think he's solid from inside 50, and I hope he doesn't have to kick anything over 50 the rest of the year.
Yep.
And I just hope the line gives him enough blocking to get it done. So offensively, let's talk offense.
Yeah.
Notre Dame offense, what's the game plan look like?
I mean, I guess we're pounding the rock at this point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that game plan all of us want sitting at home, but it's the game plan we're going to get.
It's not the game plan I expected.
Yeah.
But play your strength.
I mean, Riley Leonard had 3 rushing touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude broke some tackles, got some confidence on the ground. I think that's definitely ramped up, especially after you could tell he was very confident running the ball.
Yeah.
And like on the design runs, he is a good runner for a quarterback. So yeah, I definitely just think this is going to be another running game plan. I mean, I hope we try to get him a little going, but
well, I think you're going to play conservative in the beginning. I think you're going to keep a lot like you did at the start of the Purdue game.
Yep.
You're going to keep the passes short. You're going to keep him rolling out of the pocket, keep him doing what he's comfortable with. You're going to try and get a 2-3 score lead, and then I think you're going to say, okay, now if my defense is dominant and I've got a 2 or 3 score lead, I'm going to try and get him some passes. I'm going to try and get him to throw that first touchdown pass before I pull him. And I'm hoping it's another game where Angeli's in to start the second half.
Yeah.
That would be good for everybody. It'd be good for the team. It'd be good for Angeli. It'd be because we know that Riley may or not get injured. Like
Yeah.
And if he gets injured, we want Angeli game
Yeah.
ready. So I think that's kind of where you're at in that one. I'm gonna run early and keep the passes short. I'm gonna wait till I get a lead, and hopefully by the end of the first quarter, I'm up 21, 28 points early in the second. And at that point, I'm going to say, okay, now I want to get some passes. I want to
Yep.
try and get Riley some confidence in passes, and man, they were there. There was so many plays against Purdue where the scheme, the play call opened guys up.
Yeah.
So now if this week I'm Denbrock and I'm Gaduli in practice, I'm pointing those things out to Riley.
Yeah.
And in fact, I'm going to say, listen, like, you can't run the ball. You got to look for this guy, and this guy, because
Yeah.
in this scheme, one of those guys, if not two of those guys, are going to be open.
Isn't it sad? Like, think about all these times, like, as you coached me growing up, like, you're up so many goals. All right, you got to kick with your left foot now, right?
Oh, yeah.
And now we're in a position where we have a quarterback, and we're like, all right, you can't run here.
Yeah.
You need to throw once we get up 21 points.
But see,
you know
like,
what I mean?
yeah, when I'm coaching you or, whatever in youth sports, and
Yeah.
like, it's like, did Riley never have a coach that just developed him? But see, there's where I think it is. I think Riley can throw the ball.
Yeah.
I think Riley's in his own head.
Is it going to be a situation where once he gets one, I'm going to cross my fingers. He's going to get rolling, right? Is he?
Yeah, he's got to get this confidence back, right?
Right, but is it one of those things where I got to watch a lot of soccer. You score that first goal, and the team has been dominating you. Like, they just can't score. They get that first goal in the 60th minute, and they end up winning the game 4-0,
Yeah.
right? Because they get that one, opens the floodgates, right?
So there's the question for you then.
Yeah.
Okay? So here's the question. Is Riley Leonard going to figure it out? And
I know. You've texted me this question. You've
Yeah.
talked about this question.
they're going to stick with him.
You can give me okay, you can say it for everybody because I know it's coming, but yes, you can give it the question.
Yeah.
I'm just
So which happens first? Do we give up on Riley Leonard, or does he figure it out?
I know. I've been going back and forth. My easy answer, you know how my easy way out of this is? He gets hurt first. That's my easy answer out of this. But if that's not an option,
Yeah.
I truthfully don't know where I'm going. I want to have faith in Riley Leonard. I really do. But he's given me no reason to.
Yeah. He's not as good looking as Hartman.
Yeah.
He's not, but he's a good kid.
Yeah.
He really is a good kid.
Yeah. So here's my concern. If he doesn't score a passing touchdown this weekend,
Yeah.
we got Louisville next weekend.
Yeah.
That's my big concern. Because I know Louisville's going to be fired up to play us. They beat us last year. And this is a game Marcus Freeman's not going to, like, don't get me wrong. I know Coach Freeman doesn't want to lose any game.
Yeah.
But this is a game that I think sits sour in a lot of Notre Dame fans and the coaching staff from last year.
Oh, yeah.
They played very poor. I think if he doesn't have a pass touchdown this weekend and his confidence is not high next weekend, there's a very good chance of getting pulled next weekend against Louisville.
You don't think he gets to start?
No, I think he might start,
Okay.
but the leash, like we were talking about last week,
Does the leash get shorter?
I was giving him last week against Purdue to the first half, right?
Yep.
I don't know if he makes it through a first quarter if he's very poor against Louisville.
Or do they go to a package system where he now becomes there's a Riley Leonard package and there's an Angeli package.
Yeah,
Do
that'd be interesting. So I guess what I'm leaning to right now is because I have little faith in Riley right at this moment.
Yep.
Is they'll get benched before he figures it out. I hope I'm wrong.
I've struggled with it back and forth.
Yeah, that's you've texted me this from earlier on in the week, and I've tried not to say too much to you because I don't want you to influence me on this one.
Yeah.
So I've kind of been holding it in, and I don't want to influence you on yours because I figured you had an opinion as well. But next week Louisville. I know this. If it's a different team that we didn't play last year and didn't lose to, and I don't feel like it's a sour. He gets a little bit longer, but I'm just like Louisville next week. I know is so sour in this coaching staff's mouth.
Yeah. So how does it play out for him will be interesting.
Yeah.
And I think that's the $1 million question for all of Notre Dame fans at this point is, will Leonard figure it out? And if he does, how long does it take? Does he figure it out? And if he does, how long? And then how much leash does the coaching staff give him?
Yeah.
Because I think you can beat Louisville with Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be a high-scoring, high-powered offense, which
Yeah.
is what Denbrock wants.
Yeah.
Denbrock wants...
I think that's what Freeman wants because he brought in Denbrock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he didn't just bring in Denbrock like, all right, you're really good at scoring points, but we only want to score 21 a game.
Yeah,
Like,
he didn't.
you know what I mean?
He didn't look for the best running offensive coordinator in
Yeah.
the country. He
Yeah.
looked for the best offensive coordinator in the country. He
Yeah.
looked for a guy that took his quarterback and made him a Heisman,
Trophy winner.
trophy winner.
Yeah.
Like that.
Top 3 NFL draft
like-
pick. Like,
Freeman's old school football. He wants to run the ball. He
Yeah.
wants to dominate the line. And he wants linebacker and defensive back. Like he's got what he wants defensively.
yeah.
Right? And we've talked about that. A lot of these guys are his recruits from when he
Yeah.
was a DC. So he's got what he wants defensively. He knows what he wants offensively. I think what he wants offensively is a lot like what LSU had last year.
Yeah.
He wants a dynamic quarterback who makes it difficult on the defense because he can run and he can throw.
Yep.
And he's expected that out of Leonard, and he's not got everything out of Leonard. He's got the run.
Yeah.
So, I told you this before, and you've heard me talk about managers that report to me at work that
Yeah.
sometimes people just
Aren't what you wanted.
they just hold on. Like
Yeah.
they think I can make this guy work. I can make this girl good. I can.
Yeah.
You see just a flash here and there, and I think that's kind of where they're at with Riley Leonard. They went all in on. They got Riley Leonard in the
Yeah.
portal, and they see these flashes. They've seen him in practice. They've seen him do these things, and they're just like trying to figure out what they can do from a sports psychology standpoint to get through to Riley and get him past this hurdle.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll be successful. I don't know if they can do that or not. But there's only so many hours a day they can spend with him. If
Yeah.
you watch the Here Come the Irish, on Peacock, I think it was episode 2 when Riley admitted, he got in his own head. He was questioning his own self,
Yeah.
just being at Notre Dame. It was
Yeah.
a different atmosphere. So I think there's some psychological stuff going on with him where he's afraid to throw the ball, and he's, where Angeli's not afraid to stay in the pocket.
Does against Slinger, right?
Riley's wanting to get out of that pocket fast. He's what he's comfortable with. He's comfortable on the run. He's comfortable, we talked about the wide open non-throw to Love. And
Yeah.
so that just tells me that's a quarterback that's not confident.
Yeah.
And so how do you get past that? The only way to get past that is to get him game success. And force game success. And maybe that you have to threaten benching. Like, dude, I'm calling a pass play, and if you don't throw it, I'm
Yeah.
going to bench you.
Yeah.
Like
I don't care if you run for a touchdown here.
I'm going to bench you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as a
Throw it
coach,
out of bounds, if anything.
yeah, as a coach, sometimes it's hard to do.
Yeah.
And
especially with the kid you have known since December.
Yeah.
Right. So you've barely known him 8 months. You don't know what drives this kid. I mean, you think you might know, but do you really know? Like
Yeah.
what motivates this kid, right?
Oh yeah, because you talk to people and you'll say what gets you excited, what motivates you, and some
Yeah.
people have very good self-awareness.
Yeah.
And some people do not.
Oh yeah. Riley might be like, oh, I like being coached hard. I like being coached. You know what I mean? And then, but when he gets coached hard, maybe he doesn't. As he shuts down. You know what I mean? It's one of those.
Yeah, I mean, if he had Tommy Reese telling him to do his job,
Yeah.
he may not respond the way Drew Pine did.
Yeah.
Drew Pine
Yeah.
coached his son, and he took that.
Yeah.
In fact, he probably thrived on it.
Yeah.
He needed that. Where, I don't know that Riley Leonard his personality I don't strike me as a kid who wants tough coaching.
Yeah.
And, I think there was the comments during spring or fall practice, fall camp, where there were some jokes where he was saying he wanted to take the red vest off and he wanted to be live and this and that and the other. And at the time, it was kind of like, okay, the kid wants contact was the media spin.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to think the kid just likes being able to run.
Yeah.
And he's more comfortable running.
He was being forced.
And he was being forced to stay in the pocket and not run. And he couldn't highlight that side of his
very
game.
I hadn't thought about back then.
And it's like, okay, yeah. So is this just his DNA?
Yeah.
But when you look at his numbers, like he wasn't all world at Duke, but his passing was so much better.
Yeah.
Now, statistically, Purdue was a much better statistical game.
Yeah.
But when your first pass is a yard in the air or it's shovel pass, I mean, so I think you can get some success. But at some point, you've got to force him to stretch the field, throw the ball downfield, and make that throw.
Otherwise, we're going to get in a position where we're playing a college football. If we make it, but like a USC,
1 game at a time.
Right, but I'm saying you get a position we can beat these teams running the ball right now, but you get to a position where you play a Louisville, a USC, and eventually maybe someone down in the bowl game or a college football player. It's like their defense is going to be too good for us just be so one dimensional.
I feel like I could beat Louisville with Riley Leonard at quarterback, but I don't feel like it's a blowout.
Yeah.
And I think if Riley Leonard was throwing the ball well,
then
I feel like
14, 21 point game. I think that line's open up for 4.5 points.
Yeah. And
in Notre Dame's favor.
But that's
Yeah.
Seems about right. I wouldn't. I don't think it's unless I see something from Leonard this weekend that shows me he's getting past this mental block, and I think it's him. I don't think it's a skill set. I think it's mental.
Yeah.
Again, we talked about it last week. He won the Madden Passing Academy passing competition.
Yeah.
He's got all this game film from practice, or all this practice film where he's throwing the ball. So I think it's mental. If they can get him past the mental and he can throw the ball, I like our chances against Louisville.
Yep.
Not to look ahead too far.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Final score here, Miami, Ohio. What do you want to put on the board for a prediction?
All right. Last time we played Miami, Ohio, 52-17 back in 2017. Over under. Can I get into the betting stuff real quick and then I'll go over that?
Let's hit it.
Okay. So, but over under this weekend, 43.5. Notre Dame a 28-point favorite. So back in 2017, Irish are 21-point favorites, and the over under is 53.5. Over hit. Notre Dame covered 52-17. Miami, Ohio is 0-2 against the spread. They are 0-2 so they're towards the under this year. No games they played in have gone over. In the last 7 games they've played in have all gone under for Miami, Ohio. Interesting fact for you. So this weekend, 43.5 points. We were so down low about Notre Dame last week, and it was for sure going to be an under. We were, I think, both low.
Yeah.
I think I was 17-3. I can't remember. 24 something. 24-10.
24-10, something like that, yeah.
Half of me is tempted to just go low ball them again so we go off for 50.
Yeah.
But I really want to think we're going to... I'm going to say we're going to hit the over on our own this week. 45-3.
See, I'm feeling like 49-7, 49-10.
Yeah.
Like that's where my...
We're going to be so disappointed this week.
I know, and they're going to be... It's going to be 21-14, and I'm like, what the heck?
I think we hit the over this week on our own. We cover... Miami, Ohio doesn't score. 45-3. You're going what then? Officially?
I think 49-10.
49-10
is where I'm at. That's where I feel like I'm at. And I'm with you. Take the over. I could see Notre Dame putting up another 60-point game.
55 last week. 55-7. So yeah, right.
66.
60. Oh yeah, 66.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, we
scored more than
I don't think we ever landed on 55. We were all around it.
Yeah.
We were past it.
Okay.
But yeah, so I feel like it's going to be that. It depends, right? We came out with something to prove against Purdue.
Yeah.
Now, are we going to come out with that same
Still on home this year
approach?
Yeah.
If we come out with that same approach against Miami of Ohio, that same attitude, and this is going to say a lot about the coaches, right? It's easy to get the team fired up for the first week. Can you maintain that for the balance of the season?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's 9 more games to go. Can we have that same intensity and will to win for the next 9 games?
Yeah.
If we do, I think 56, 60 points is doable.
Yeah.
And I think we could hold Miami of Ohio to 3.
Yeah.
But I think realistically, you're going to see a lot of the younger guys getting playing. I'm expecting to see the younger guys getting playing time in the second half, things of that nature. Mel, I think it's interesting because what we're going to see is Angeli come in and the passing game will open up.
Yeah.
So I don't think the scoring lets off just because we go to the second team offense.
Yeah.
So to speak.
It wasn't even second team offense. That's what it seemed like. First team offense with Angeli.
Yeah. It wasn't quite.
So it'll be interesting to see if Angeli, and now that Angeli's shown that in game, how will he still be doing that in game, or will they go more? All right, he's shown that in game. Let's hand the ball off a little more this week. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, it will be. But I think you play the same way. I don't think Freeman or Denbrock want to take their foot off the pedal.
Yeah.
I don't think they want to do anything stupid to like cost us the game.
Yeah.
But I don't think they want to play conservative with a lead at this point.
Yeah.
I think that's what they showed at Purdue. So I'm anticipating that same attitude, that same approach to the game. And if that happens, I think 49-7, 49-10, and that touchdown is going to be late, and it's going to be third, fourth quarter when the game doesn't really matter, and probably the only kids going to see the touchdown, or the only people who can see the kids score the touchdown might be the parents.
Yeah,
because everybody else from Miami of Ohio might be gone.
Yeah. So we talked about this last week. Our question last week was, will Notre Dame throw a passing touchdown? And they did, but it was not Riley Leonard.
Not Riley Leonard.
So here's my question this week. I'll be more specific. Does Riley Leonard throw a touchdown pass this week?
I want to say yes, but I have no evidence and no data to
No,
suggest
right.
he will.
I'm going no again this week. Rather than would not throw a touchdown
Yeah.
pass this weekend against Miami, Ohio.
So if I'm Denbrock, like we talked about, I'm going to try and force him to throw the ball.
Yep.
I'm going to say we get up 28, and you better not run. If you run, I'm pulling you.
Yep.
Like, and I'm going to pull him. Seriously, I'll pull you. I'm going to force him to. If I'm the OC, I'm going to force him to throw that touchdown pass. Now, whether they'll do that or not,
Could we put a red jersey on him?
maybe tell him you can't run. But yeah, I'm with you. I want him to.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good for him to get that confidence up. But I don't think he plays the second half, and I don't think he gets it done in the first half.
Yeah.
And that's the danger, because he is not going to be effective. If we're successful this week, he will not be successful at Louisville. He will not easily be successful at Louisville without being able to throw the ball.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right. So I know I was hot last week. Hit the parlay of the week. Well, the betting lines, the touchdown scores, the yardage, all that's not out yet. All right, people.
Okay. So we're a little early.
We're a little early. I'll get something out. I know you guys want to ride the hot hand. I get it. I don't blame you.
So
Well, I'll get something out for a parlay of the week. But I do, if you're wondering, I do have a bet for you this weekend.
okay, what do you got?
I really like this play. Just a single bet for the Notre Dame game this weekend. I've been high on this. Notre Dame first drive to score a touchdown, plus 110. That's right, plus money. Last 2 weeks, we looked very good on that first drive.
Yeah.
First drive this week to score touchdowns plus money. I would take that all day.
So you could parlay that with the win, right?
I could not actually. There's certain things you can parlay and certain
They
things
wouldn't
you
let you
can't.
parlay
No,
that?
you can't parlay because I did look at that. I did look at parlaying that, the cover, and the over, but it wouldn't let me parlay the first drive in. Yeah, it might let me later in the week, but
Yeah. If you give me Price touchdown, Love touchdown, scoring on the first drive, the over, and money line,
yeah,
I
over in the money line or the cover,
I
because I think the money line's like minus 5,000. Are you going cover minus 28?
I'd go cover.
You'll cover 28. That's confident. So, yeah, I feel like last week I was feeling really good because I think at halftime my parlay hit. I think was what we're sitting.
You'd hit it at half.
I mean, consider if Notre Dame won last week.
Yeah,
like,
as long as they held on to one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah,
Which they
definitely be feeling a lot of Jeremiah Love last week. Got me good. Price will be definitely happening this week. I think they both looked really good. So,
Yeah.
and then gonna be looking at those. Definitely be looking for those rushing yards this week for both of them.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be up there. There's no reason they shouldn't be with Miami of Ohio's defense.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, maybe we'll go in a Nias Williams touchdown this weekend. I don't think he's got in the end zone yet.
yeah.
I think I might be feeling him this weekend. I don't know. Maybe not in the parlay, but maybe looking at his odds though. That's for sure.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. You figure it out. You can put it on social.
It'll be on social. Definitely check us out on all of our socials. I'll post something. I don't know if it'll be a reel yet. If it'll be a story. Check them all out though.
So at a buck a game, at a buck a bet,
Yeah.
you lost $2 the first week. If you put a buck on last week's bet, how much would you be?
I think I'd be down 30 or 40 cents.
You'd be down 46.
I think it was a plus 178 last week before the boost. I think I boosted it to higher, but if you had no boost, I think it was like 170-ish.
So yeah, you're down 30 cents right
Yeah.
now in the season. So
Yeah.
you need to hit this week.
This week's, hey,
right.
we're in the green this week is what I'm hearing.
All right. Well, I hope Irish wear green.
Yep.
Actually, it's a Louisville game.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, let's get in the green. All right. Anything else?
I think that has. Oh, if you're really feeling a value bet, Notre Dame to make the college football playoff is now 250. It was like minus 140 preseason. So if you're really still feeling good about the Irish, get out there, get your college football playoff bet in plus 250
Yeah, that's just to make the playoff.
just to make it.
I think that bet's going to look better and better. I think that's a good bet because
Yeah.
I think NIU is going to continue to roll.
Yeah.
I think
so. Here's our problem. NIU didn't play last week. We feel really good if NIU just went and blew someone out last week, right?
Yes.
NIU's been celebrating, hopefully not celebrating this victory too long, right? So I hope NIU comes out and plays really well this weekend.
So yeah, that'll be interesting. But I think there's a chance NIU finds its way into that
I sure
that
hope
group
so.
of 5
I
high
sure.
team.
My
That would,
biggest fear is they lose by 21 points this week. I don't know who they're playing, but I hope they don't just, yeah.
yeah. Well, we'll see.
So,
All right.
all right. Well, thank you for tuning in to episode 11 of the Irish 365 podcast. We'll see you this weekend for a little Miami, Ohio post-game review. Hopefully, we're celebrating a parlay win. We're celebrating a Notre Dame win. we're celebrating maybe 3-4 quarterbacks playing again.
I would love to see some more Kenny Minchie.
Yeah, and then yeah.
Why not Kenny?
Yeah, exactly. So let's hope for just a great weekend. It's going to be a beautiful weekend again. 86 degrees.
Yeah. So not the hottest game we've attended this year,
No.
but
And no one's going to convince us it is.
But no, Rick, if you're listening, we're not going to buy.
Yep, all right. But anyways, have a good weekend. Enjoy the game this weekend. Go Irish.
All right. God bless.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Irish 365 podcast.
You can find us wherever you get your podcast.
We are on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook.
Just search for Irish 365 Pod.
And you can always reach us at our email, irish365pod@gmail.com.
Good night.
And God bless.